Well, hello, and welcome to episode 34 of our front yard garden in the South Carolina upstate. Episode 34 for the year 2025. It's October 26th, nice Sunday morning. Not the usual bright blue skies. It's kind of overcast a little bit. Not dark overcast. It's still fairly bright out, but a little cloudier than what we've had lately. No rain though. A little chillier than recent weeks. About 55 degrees right now, but very pleasant morning and a good time to take a look at what's left of our garden, which here in the front there isn't a lot, and this will probably be a fairly quick video today. We always have our zinnias, but they're getting fewer and further between. I've talked about these in recent weeks. These were all put in from seed. We grew these in coffee cups back in April, put them in May, and this is the tall variety. You have both tall and short varieties of zinnias. These ones get upwards of, and well, as you can see here, about 5 feet, and they've been just giving us all kinds of color all year, but this time, late in October, in fact, this will be our last video for October. They're kind of finishing up. Still some color, enough to make them worth keeping, but not a lot. One little surprise here in our mailbox bed where we always start. I had given up on our clematis. I figured we'd need to get new ones next year, and all of a sudden, this vine came up out of nowhere. Pretty solid vine too, I must say, and it's given us some really nice little Giacomini clematis flowers. Normally this is a spring bloomer, but we've gotten a nice little bit of color here for the fall to add to what's left of the zinnias. And so what I say about gardening is always look for the surprises. And every week when I come through, there's something new that I wasn't expecting, and that's what makes, in my opinion, that's what makes gardening kind of fun. Up here, I've got our little petite knockout rose, still blooming, still giving us some really beautiful, small red rose flowers. And I had deadheaded this about 2 months ago, and it took a while, but it really has done nicely. I wish our bigger ones would do the same thing. I've deadheaded them around the same time, and they didn't respond, unfortunately. But hopefully next year they'll be in good shape. Got some more zinnias over here, same thing. Now these flowers are still blooming, a little bit more so. Bigger blooms, a little more colorful than the ones out by the street. And so again, I'm going to keep them going. We're probably down to realistically the last couple of weeks of blooms at this point. I'm going to say by early to mid-November, these will be finished up, and I'm just going to pull them all out at that point. But also, along the way, we've got some dahlias that are blooming and doing really well. Interesting that this thing has struggled. It's put out a handful of flowers over the season, but not a ton. And right now it has 3 that are in bloom. This one's kind of tangled up. Excuse me for a second. There we go. These always get kind of top heavy and then they fall over, but this particular flower is about, from what I can see, about 5 inches across. It's a big one. We talk about dinner plate dahlias, and this is a good example. This one just broke off completely when it fell over in the I don't know, it's a little bit wet probably from dew, and that was enough. And again, talk about surprises. We have not had a yellow dahlia here the whole season, and all of a sudden we've got this little flower, and this is the first time I've seen a yellow one on this plant the whole year. So trying to get it to stand up a little bit. So it's always fun to see things that you didn't expect, and we get a lot of those in this garden. Got some Russian sage back here. This has never been what we call an impact flower, but it's a nice little thing if you like cottage gardening. The color is pretty, that lavender color, and if you have a lot of them, it can be a little more impactful. We just have a few, so there's not a lot to see, at least not this time of year. We've got our climbing rose back here. This thing has put out tons of beautiful red roses all through the year. It's getting close to finishing up. I do see a couple of buds on here, so it'll be giving us a few more flowers before the end of the year. It always loses its leaves due to black spot, but there's a lot of life left in those canes. They still have a lot of color in them, as you can see there. Still a lot of green. So next year this one should do really well, and we've finally stabilized the trellis that it's on. It kept falling over, which certainly wasn't helping anything. And I'm hoping next year that I can put a little more effort and time into deadheading and putting antifungals and fertilizer and so on the roses, so that they do a little bit better and we get more flowers out of them. Now, just since last week, our black-eyed Susans have finished up. This area was really awash with yellow the last few weeks. Still see maybe one back in there, but they have all finished up now. And for whatever reason, we have a lot of these in the backyard, and you'll see that in our backyard video next. But those finished up probably a good month and a half ago, maybe more. And the ones up here lasted a lot longer, which was nice, because we have a lot less color up here. So here we have hydrangeas. We have some more hydrangeas over here. These are all finished for the year. These are basically spring and early summer flowers, but they'll be back next year and do very well. We've got viburnum here, big shrub that gives us nice big white flowers. And I always show off our what I call the citrus grove here. We've got our orange tree, which is actually looking decently healthy. It's lost a lot of leaves over the summer. It didn't get as much water, especially on the inside here. It doesn't get a lot of sun. But it has not bloomed enough to really put a lot of effort into it. Same thing with our lemon tree over here. It still has some growth on it. It's definitely not giving up, but it really hasn't done a whole lot other than just be green. And strangely enough, the ones that have been a little more successful are these smaller ones down here. And interesting thing here in the last couple of weeks, we've had 2 lemons actually growing, and they've been just kind of sitting for a few months, and just now they're starting to turn yellow. So they're getting close to ripening. It'll probably be in a few more weeks, and eventually we'll pick them and see what the heck is inside. So that'll be kind of exciting. I've been waiting to get some actual fruit out of our citrus grove for about 5 years now, and maybe we're finally there. Coming around through here, our front yard looks very fall-ish with all the falling leaves, and not a lot left over here. We had some, well, these are azaleas over here. They were blooming. They're kind of finished up in this area. Again, some viburnum back here. These are all spring plants, but these azaleas are still blooming up here, these light pink ones, and so that is really nice, and especially nice since these are the ones that face the street, and so our neighbors get to see some nice flowering here when we normally wouldn't see much of that this time of year. Now, these are the knockout roses that I was talking about before. They were largely done for the year, and hopefully they'll come back next year with some new growth. These leaves are all getting black spot, and probably a lot of them are going to fall off over the winter until everything comes back in the spring. We got a lot of irises through here, and these will bloom probably in April. And then this big butterfly bush has done pretty well this year. It's certainly finished now for the year, and that should come back pretty nicely, I believe. Over here, this big bed is largely finished, but there are a few things worth looking at. We've got some salvia here. I always call these rock candy flowers. They're not doing a lot. They bloomed in the spring and then for a short time here in the fall, but they're just about finished. Had some dahlias here, which are now done, and a couple climbing roses that are still blooming a little bit. They're not completely finished for the year. A couple zinnias that are left. Just looking around, there's a lot in this bed. It's really pretty dense with flowers. Asiatic lilies that bloomed over the summer, and then these knockout roses. We have 4 of them, pink, red, and coral color or salmon color. Some more zinnias here, daylilies in this area. But all of this stuff is pretty much done for the year. A lot of monarda over on this side, and gladiolas and so forth, but not much in the way of color, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this bed. But that's basically our front yard for right now. Kind of typical of what you would see in late October. But I feel blessed being here in the South, because when we lived in Ohio, our garden would be completely finished by the end of September. There would be no more blooms really beyond that. So enjoying what we have, and there's a little more to see, I think, color-wise in the backyard, so we're going to do that video next. Hope it's sunny wherever you are, and until next time, happy gardening.